Oh. Hello?
I have no idea. How are we doing?
Oh, good. I'm still chewing, actually. So, okay, what I want to know is, what we just ate, was that a croissantish? Because you called it a Danish, but it was kind of really more like a croissant.
I picked them up at Patrick's.
Oh.
I don't go there that often because...
you can't.
I would be about 400 pounds.
No. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much. So good. I had what did you have? Which one did you have?
The apple one.
Apple. I had kind of like a lemon curd, and I'm still eating it, with raspberries and blackberries. Fantastic. So, welcome to the Great Northern Sex Cast, and I am so excited to be here.
It's actually a very pleasant day out for a chilly Minnesota November. But the sun is shining. It's amazing how we can psych ourselves up to thinking that it's not as cold as it is out. Because you wander outside and you're thinking, maybe I should have grabbed my gloves.
Yeah. That's just pure silly. But the thing that's so cool, I do love the winter sunshine. Mm-hmm. It is beautiful. I mean, and we've been in a couple of weeks of cloud cover, and it was damn time, don't you think?
Yeah, went up to the North Shore this past weekend, and it was so cloudy you couldn't even see when the sun was rising. Normally, you can,
yeah,
there was not even a line of pink over Lake Superior, because
no
usually
kidding.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's the joy. Oh God, Minnesota is so beautiful.
You took some pictures of like frozen waves, didn't you? That was crazy, like mid-wave.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
No, that was because it's still one, but it's beginning to. There was a lot of rain up there, so I was amazed at the amount of running water. Mm-hmm. And then you would drive about 7 miles up the Sawtooth, and then you found winter. Down by the shore, still green, chilly. You go 7 miles up. Yep, it's winter.
Wow.
It was a nice few days away.
Who went?
Just me and my guy.
Oh, sweet. Couples trip. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have to just thank Perry Laprie for his last week's visit. He hasn't been on in quite a long time, and it was really good to see him. And things just always take quite a turn when he's here.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, a lot of times, I'll go through and I'll listen to the show in bits and pieces, but I couldn't remember exactly where in the show the gag-inducing moment was.
It was late.
So I decided that I would not listen. I'll go. I'm sure it's fine.
No, it was pretty funny. I actually had a lot of people tell me, "Oh my God, the three of you should not really be allowed in the same room very often." So that was kind of fun. Thank you, Perry. So we've talked about this quite a bit. Do you know who the pop star Keisha is?
I know that she's the one that's going through a lot of lawsuits for sexual harassment and all that sort of stuff, and trying to get out of her contract.
Is she? I don't know. I got to be honest. I'm not familiar.
That's
why I'm asking her. But so she has. Okay, we've talked about spectrophilia on the show. That is sex with ghosts. Mm-hmm. Whether it's an actual thing that people claim has happened to them, or it's a desire in the form of a fetish. It's out there. She claims to have had such an encounter, and one of her songs called "Supernatural" is about it. And what?
I'm sorry. I know there are people that go. I mean, there's television shows about this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't get the ghosty shit. I try
wanting
really,
to, or the fact that
anything. The fact that it would even be remotely believable to someone. It's not how my brain's wired.
So you don't believe it?
No.
You think it's a crock of crap?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's just fine. I'm not saying she doesn't believe that it happened. I'm just saying that this shit does not exist.
Okay.
There's a whole separate, these are sort of two separate things.
Okay. Well, the one of the commentators quoted in the story, which of course will be posted on the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page, it talks about the fact that the most common way people have had sex with ghosts is through astral sex, meaning astral projection, that you've left your body. And if you really are into this, that's probably your best bet. So I knew you'd love that.
I really tried, just let people do the things, but this is just absurd.
We just hit Colleen's wall, I think.
No, it's,
Is that your BS wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love it. So this one, I love this. We've got a few stories in here today that are in my favorite sort of genre. Here's one.
Someone having zombie sex?
Well, that's in here somewhere. But, the 2,000 people reveal the strangest things they do during sex. Okay, so what really happens, and this was done by Durex, and they're a pretty major condom manufacturer. So a lot of people don't just groan and moan. Some like to bark like a dog. Okay, that's puppy play, right? Is that called puppy play?
Well, it can be, but it's more of a just letting person take care of you. But I don't know how much barking, whether or not these people are barking and they're actually, wearing a collar and stuff like that. They just overwhelmed by the need to make different noises.
Well, because there are other noises like monkey or this one for you, Megan, robot sounds while getting off. I know that would just completely dismantle our Miss Megan. She is already afraid enough of the robots.
I suppose whatever comes out of your lizard brain while having sex.
Go for it.
Go for it.
One person claimed that talking about politics got their partner excited. Which, really? Really?
Right now, that would be highly depressing.
I
can't think of anything more that would be a mood killer right now in politics.
Yeah. Another person's lover wanted to hear what happened on the favorite soap opera mid-orgasm. They killed him off! Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out.
Woke up from a coma?
Yeah, right? Right.
There's a secret twin?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well.
Oh.
So, the other thing is we're finding that nurses, police, firemen, and chicken costumes are starting to give way to fairy tale characters inspired by cult fantasy films are now the new costume things. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, honestly, with the way that Marvel and DC Comics and Once Upon a Time? What was something on ABC where they modernized fairy tales and they did not.
Oh.
And plus, it's really handy if you go there, you aren't. I mean, I'm sure that there's sexy Snow White. I've seen that sort of stuff for years and stuff like that. But at least that way you're not. It's hard to be offensive if you're dressed up like Tinkerbell, or the Hulk or Captain America or whatever you want to do, because you're not running around being a horrible stereotype or racist or sexist like that. But you gotta have something. You gotta have something new.
I suppose.
I didn't really dress up for Halloween this past year.
You didn't?
But I got like a dress that had spiders on it and spider webs on it. And then there were leggings, and I was trying to get a wig, but it didn't show up in time. That was sort of long and gray. And then there was going to be like a little spider hat. It's sort of so Halloween themed versus an actual thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just easier. It's a lot easier to be themed than it is to be to put that much work into something else.
For sure, to be something.
But that's just
specific.
me. But I mean, I'm rather fond of the Halloween.
Yeah, I this year, that's right. We kind of talked, but I did pick up a most spectacular witch hat. And it's purple satin with black feathers.
Oh, okay.
And it lays flat, but then when you put it on the thing, I don't know how it's rigged, but it sticks, straight up. It's quite large. I will be trotting that out every year. It was quite festive. So yeah, penises might shrink, and here's why.
Is it cold out?
Well, no. This is actually okay. So nightwood, nocturnal erections. Yeah. Most guys, healthy men, will get 3 to 5 per night, and waking up hard, aka morning glory, is a good thing. Because that's showing that your blood is circulating where it's supposed to go. So what they're saying is, if you're not experiencing nighttime wood, that could be a sign that you will eventually, your penis will quote unquote shrink in the form of your erections won't be as robust because you don't have the regular circulation, so you won't be getting the maximum amount. You see what I'm saying?
So you're atrophying the veins and blood vessels and stuff like that?
So they said you need to get some help for that.
I would assume that it probably has to be related to probably high blood pressure, probably heart issues.
Yep.
I mean, because if your circulation is poor, it's probably there's a good chance you could have neuropathy in your fingertips and toes and other places. Well, I can understand that the same thing would happen to a penis.
Yeah. Some of the things they're telling you: stress, excessive alcohol, prescription medications like water tablets, also long distance cycling can have an effect, and recreational drugs. So
now we need to figure out the exact amount of pot that you need, because it can have you, the one study says you can have more sex.
Yeah.
And now this one's going through, so what recreational drugs?
Well, yeah.
So is there optimal stonage for sex?
Right. Right. Well, and here's another interesting aspect. If you're a pot smoker and you are having more sex, let's put you in the position of a guy. So it's working out the penis. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if that's kind of just a balancing act right there. You know what I'm saying?
Could be. Yeah, because smoke itself constricts blood vessels. It's bad for folks that are recovering.
But if they're
from
eating it,
stuff like that. Well, yeah,
you know,
maybe maybe you got to go with the edibles.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm sure there's probably studies happening right now. The fact that there's more recreational use, in this country and in other places too.
Yep.
It's you know things. There's anecdotes and stuff like that, but as we all know, you need actual studies to get some. Well, okay, some people will never believe them, like half of Congress, but but you still have, at least eventually the data will be there that someone might actually, look at it.
Yeah. I'm sure that they're working on it right now, because I've already seen news reports on big national stories saying with ER doctors, the legal in Colorado. Oh, we have more problems because of pot. Well, that's anecdotal because there is no study yet. You know what I mean? And he's just blaming. So it's kind of a weird deal. We'll see. We'll wait till the official studies come in. Glitter has been a theme lately.
Oh yeah, glitter pits. God, that just made me giggle. I'm sorry.
Glitter
pits? No.
Yep. I'm very conflicted about glitter because it gets everywhere. Mm-hmm. But now we've got an artist who is doing glitter stretch marks. So what she's doing, she's a photographer, and she does different abstract designs and whatever. But now she's superimposing different photos to create really pretty pictures, and she's using stretch marks, which everybody views as an imperfection. And she says, they affect her personally. And she says, I relate to these. So I decided I wanted to fill them up with something pretty. So now she's got glitter stretch marks pictures.
So she gets a model that has stretch marks.
Yep.
And she paints in glitter.
Yep.
And then
does different.
Honestly, I have never understood the concept of the being annoyed at stretch marks. It means you didn't die during childbirth.
There's that.
I think that's pretty awesome. Now, I've got them because of weight gain and weight loss and stuff like that. But, honestly, anything you look at, it just means you're not dead.
That's good. That's a good thing.
It's all going forward. But I can see that because there's so much. I'm sure if I went for a drive today, I'd see at least one billboard for, laser or some sort of cosmetic surgery up there.
Oh, yeah.
Was going through there. And I'm like, to each their own. That's fine. But the stretch marks mean that you're successful. You made it through childbirth. Good for you.
Good for you, yeah.
Or you lost a crap ton of weight. Good for you.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. I actually think this is quite possibly one of the funniest headlines I have ever read, because it's a story about 5 different vagina types.
Okay.
And the headline is, "No need to ovary-act."
Oh,
that's clever. Come on.
I like it. Okay.
You got to give that's funny.
I like a good pun.
That's a good pun. Mm-hmm. It's a good pun. So this actually woman who only goes by Mel, she's a waxer, okay? And she has categorized 5 different types, and she only goes by her first name to protect the names and by vagina identities of her clients. But she has 5 types: Miss Curtains, Miss Barbie, Miss Tulip, Miss Horseshoe, and Miss Puffs. And it's
so this is the type of wax?
no type of vagina shapes.
Oh, okay.
And she's basically saying, look, everybody, they've kind of basically fall in 5 categories, pretty much. They're all different, but yet they're all the same. And so she describes them all, and they're pretty funny. She does not describe the tulip, oddly, but she says the most common shape is Miss Curtains, which is when the labia and minora peek out from in between the labia majora. You got that?
Yep.
Okay. Miss Barbie is the labia minora. They're completely concealed from view.
Okay, so it looks all smooth with the... Okay.
Okay. Then Miss Horseshoe have a vagina opening that looks wider at the top. Okay. Miss Puffs, similar to Barbie, but with the lips of the vagina sitting lower on the pubic bone. Okay.
So I suppose it's just different. I've never done a full Brazilian, not my thing. That's fine. But I suppose you would notice these things if you're putting hot wax on that area of the body, and then you have to hold it taut so that you can take the pull the hair off.
Right.
You're
right there.
You're right there.
You got a front row seat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she knows.
I wonder if she's classified like assholes, because if you're doing a full bikini wax, you're going to be coming around the back.
Oh sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That'd be nice. So she didn't mention. So they're all assholes are the same.
She didn't choose to address that in this particular article, but perhaps that could be her sequel, which is kind of funny when you think about that. Okay, so you and I have had this conversation. I know you've got a couple tattoos and you're pondering perhaps another. I do not have any, and it's not for a judgment reason. I just don't. But we've talked about, because tattoos do come up in some of the things that we cover here on the Sex Cast. I have just sort of mused about, there's so much ink out there on people now, especially in the 20 to 30 range of people. And I've asked the question, I wonder if they're going to regret it at some point in their life, or, things like that. And here's a story about a girl who's 28, and she does. And what she did was she had a Newfoundland, and if you've ever had a giant breed dog, you know that they don't last that long. They have about an 8-year life expectancy. So as Max was approaching 8, she had paws tattooed on her breasts, right, in honor of Max, to remember him forever. And they're 8 inches wide and 3.5 high. So these are big tattoos on her breasts. Basically, she says it's ruined her sex life. They call her paw tits now. And she said at first she got a lot of attention and it was cool, but she hasn't had a proper relationship, in her words, in 10 years. And she's a 34 double D. So can you imagine what that must be like? 34, that's a tiny little frame with a giant rack on there. And so the paws are probably just right.
Yeah, and if they're all filled in, at this point what you've got is like 2 large inky black blue blobs on your breast?
Pretty much, yeah. So she's in the process of having it taken off. And 18 months, this is what surprised me. Only €1,000 is the I can't imagine it would. I would have thought it would cost way more than that.
I do know that some places that do laser removal or what they were doing like that, depending on what's going on. Because if it's that dark and that filled in, that's a lot of zapping. That has got to be uncomfortable.
Well, not only that, I just wonder if it's really healthy for your breasts. You think about that with the tissue and
snaps. Oh,
right?
Ouch.
Yeah.
No, mine are what, 15 years old now, some of them, and it's just black work and some lines. And I'm noticing that they're blurring a little bit. They're not as sharp as they used to be.
Yep.
And going through there, but there were certain. I do see some things sometimes, and I'm just like, there are people that do. It's like people do anything well, and then people can do the same things poorly. I think large. I can see where it would be a little disconcerting to have these just large paw prints on your boobs, and she's probably self-conscious about it too. So you add those 2 things in there,
and then that changes the energy.
Yeah, she's not comfortable with them anymore.
Right.
So therefore, the people that are with her. Because honestly, he was like, this is my dog, I put him on my boobs, deal with it. Most folks, guys, it's boobs.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she maybe could get some help about.
It's probably got to be a little tough depending where they are. If you're wearing like a strapless dress or something that has a little more cleavage, you're like, you got a smudge there.
A very large smudge, yeah, for sure. Have you ever heard of the P shot or the Priapus shot as an ED cure? Have you heard of this one yet?
Mm.
Yeah, so they're estimating that around half of men between 40 and 70 suffer from ED at some point in their lives. And so they're saying, there's Viagra, there's all the erection boosting gels, things like that. But this new shot has been introduced. It costs, sit down, oh, you are sitting, $1,300 per shot. And it can really increase the blood flow, though, and the circulation, and the patient will have greater sensation. And I guess...
What's in the shot?
It doesn't say, but it can... It takes about 4 weeks to get going. And it also is effective in treating Peyronie's disease. And that's the thing that causes painful erections, bending, and sexual difficulties among men. So, yeah. I mean, it's a new shot. It's a long-term solution for ED.
Where is the shot going?
Does it say? It doesn't say. I don't think they give it to you in the penis. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Probably something that helps with circulation or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I 1,300, and it's just one that. But I'm assuming you probably need it more than once. I'm gonna have to take. I'm curious to read the rest of that article or see what's going on.
It's pretty scant. But it's something you could Google it and probably find a multitude of things. Yep, for sure. All right. So sexual bucket lists. We've talked about the concepts before, and that's fine. And there's a Reddit thread on it. Try anything 3 times is what it is with the number 3. So you can check it out. So let's run through their first 2 weeks because they've got some really good stuff on here. It starts out slow. Have sex at a time other than before bed. Okay, fine. 2, get some new sex positions or watch Kama Sutra videos together. 3, 2 times in one day. 4, erotica before sex. 5 is shower sex. 6, full body massage before initiating sex. 7 is a quickie. 8 is a road trip, park, make-out, car sex. 9, sex while seated on chair or sofa. 10 deals with oils. 11, oral sex only. No 69ing. 12, she dominates. And then ropes or handcuffs. 13, no intercourse. Hands, mouth, body only stuff. And use breast or feet to make partner orgasm. So now we're getting into the deprivation and using other body parts. 14 is find a new place in the house for sex.
So this is what these folks did every day for 14 days?
It's 30 days, and we'll post the article. You can read the whole thing, but they've got a whole guide.
So you got a checklist and go through.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you're going to do the last few times that I've been in a hotel, I swear, okay, a lot of places are taking out tubs and they're just putting in full showers with a bench. I think they're just designed for sex.
The showers?
The showers, I swear, because 1, they've got a bench. 2, almost all of them have handicap bars now, accessibility bars. So there's something to hold on to.
Yep.
There seems to be multiple shower heads in these things. They've been taking out the tubs, and I'm like, this is just simply designed for sex.
Have you tried one yet?
What? You look at them.
Yes or no?
And you look at them and you're like, I could do that. And then you get about halfway through and you realize the bed's more comfortable.
Okay. Fair enough. That's fair.
But the grab bar was handy.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Do you remember a story a while ago where there was a couple and the girl's best friend who did a threesome because she wanted her best friend to try her boyfriend's penis? Do you remember that? Because it was such a weird way to put it. Try his penis. Remember that?
She felt like she needed to share, or she thought it was.
Well, they shared everything else, and showed her so many pictures that now she felt that she needed to have sex with her boyfriend's penis. She needed to actually try it out. So they filmed their threesome on YouTube. They've got 1 million subscribers.
Okay.
Yep, and we talked about this. And now it appears that, they've gotten 10 million views, by the way. And so now they're going into the instructional phase of the program to try to get more subscribers and monetize and all this kind of stuff. So they have their top 4 threesome tips for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the first one is focus on your partner. Now, okay, if there's 3 of you, you mean your original partner. So that always just makes me, the way these things are set up, you've got the partner and then, the 2 partners and then the other person. I've never read a single story or heard a recall of any of this where the other person isn't either over, what's the word I want? Oh my gosh. Sexualized, not sexualized.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say? Objectified.
Yes.
Or they're ignored as part of the plan. And it's like neither one of those sounds really all that much fun to me.
Why you would want to be the third person in? Because folks that are in committed relationships with more than one person, they've worked out the times and stuff like that. But if you're just bringing someone in, it's like bringing in a live toy. It seems more like, and I'm not sure I would want to be the live toy, unless of course you're someone that really doesn't want a relationship and you just want to have sex,
right?
And you're okay with that. It's like threesome with benefits versus
yes.
But it just
Well, what cracks me up is so these are 3 young people, right? And they're trying to make it as like these sage sex people. So the first one, focus on your partner. 2, communication and honesty are key. That's really, erudite. 3, make sure your relationship is strong to begin with. And 4, use protection. Okay, guys, good luck with that. Hopefully you're hot because that'll be the reason why you get the clicks. And good luck to all 3 of you.
Okay.
Okay, was the sigh audible enough?
Yeah, I think so.
It's now a male sex robot. It's actually a sex doll. Japanese made, and he's only 5'3". Why would you do that? If you're going to make a male sex doll, why would you make him...
if you make it 6'3", that's another foot of silicone. That's pretty expensive stuff.
Well, this one's only $1,700. So, if it was $2,500 for a man-sized man, I think I think people would pay. Because otherwise now it's like it's got smacks of pedophilia.
Oh yeah,
don't you think?
It's just too tiny.
His name is John.
But then again, a lot of people in the world aren't that small, aren't that tall. We're just we're used to Minnesotans. We got some tall guys here.
Yeah, we do. We sure do. Is that the Scandinavian thing?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, because my guy's 6'4". So yeah, and there are some big dudes. Yeah. But 5'3". Come on. Anyway, he's got straight black hair that flops down over his eyes. It's just I don't know. It's got an 8-inch penis, and they've got model shots of him. But it basically looks like a big dildo. You could ride it probably, but like what else?
Well, I suppose they. I wonder if you can if you can custom, build these things like you can like the real dolls, because you can choose everything on those. This sounds like those are like the 10K ones. Yeah. Because if you could custom a dude, I'm sure folks would.
Yeah.
But you would need. I think the thing is that it would be handy because you would need to work in. If you're making a female doll, you've got something generally with 3 holes that you can put your penis in. But if you've got a male doll, you're if you're on top, you're doing the work unless they can make it with a thrusting penis.
Which they probably could,
because they've got a whole bunch of toys and motors and stuff out there that do the thrusting. Most of them aren't. They aren't the most sensual looking things. When it comes to the larger sex machines, going through there. So this would just be. Honestly, if they could figure out how to put a motor in there and make it and make it less mechanical looking, I could see that it would go.
And by the way, the male sex doll does have a hole, so it is also advertised for gay men. Mm-hmm. So, and maybe, it'd be more popular among gay men than, I don't know.
We sell a lot of dildos, so why not dildo? I mean, we got a wall of dildos. And the thing is, it used to be sort of fantasy colors, and now people are coming back to the more realistic colors.
Okay.
And
they come in a lot of skin tones now, too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I try, there's darker ones, mid-sized ones, more pale, penis and stuff like that. And, all the colors, sell, and we're selling a lot less of the blue, purple, red. I mean, not, we still do, but folks were, getting away. But I think they've done such a really good job lately. A lot of different companies, Blush, Doug Johnson, Topco, stuff like that, of getting a more realistic color that doesn't look like a dead thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, because the at least the white Caucasian skin tones of the past were just awful.
Yeah, and it's nice because and that's another thing too, is that I went through and I can't do it on the site we have now. I can't edit it, but I think that people are getting better at it. I went through when we had the custom partner site, and I could go through and edit, and changed everything from flesh to beige. Drove me insane.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm. And so I chose. We had black, brown, and it was black, brown, beige, and then one of them sometimes I chose cinnamon because it was sort of in between brown and beige. There were about 4 colors, so I decided to sort of standardize, all of the colors because some of them, I mean, honestly, some of these were not realistic. Well, cramping my side here.
Oh.
And so I was like, but that took me several weeks because there were a lot of dildos to go through and find them all and edit it.
Okay, think about this. If you've ever had a tedious work project, and I had a really, really nasty one about a month ago, where I literally had my weekend and I had spreadsheets and God, it was just awful. But I can imagine how fried your head would be after days of going through dildo coloration.
And then I'm looking at, and of course, then I've got to decide, and sometimes I couldn't decide, so I'd go look at somebody else's monitor, or I'd bring up on my phone to decide whether or not it was brown or cinnamon,
This is really like your life. That's what people don't get. That's what's so funny about this. It's like, this is really what you do, and oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, when students, the gal that was working on our website had meningitis, which is one of the reasons it's been delayed, a little bit longer, but she's recovering and doing okay.
Good.
But, I need to go through because I've got some items on the thing that are drop ship. I don't carry them in the stores. It's just, we get some requests, but not enough, and I need to go through and do that. And that's the same thing because I look through and I'm like, okay, how many choices? I like this one. Oh, it's got too many choices. And then I realized that I hate the description that the company whose manufacturer is using. Then I got to write it up. Then I have to decide whether I'm going to use the word dildo or dong, and then search and stuff like that. Or if I use the word dildo in the title, I'll use the word dong in the description because you want search, and you got to make sure all these terms are in there. And it's I'm like. It's funny, what do I want if someone's searching to pop up? The word dildo or the word dong? Is this a better picture? Do I want the side view of it or the pack?
Yeah.
Because I'm not. It's not a website where I want the artificial body part to just come screaming off the screen at you. Mm-hmm. Because it's a little disconcerting sometimes.
Well, you would know.
And I look it up a lot. And you need to get in the mindset because it's just a body part, and it gets a little and after a while I'm like, which is a better shot? So I have to call folks and go, which do you like better? Which
penis ball?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just not sure which I'm like which looks better, and then because you want it to be consistent too, because if you've got them. If you're clicking through the dildo section and they're pointing in about 1,000 different degrees, your eyeballs, you want consistency,
Yeah.
And so I got to look at stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, do you still, like, after, gosh, how many years have you been working here?
Since '89. And my parents have done it longer. We're almost at 40 years.
Okay, but you're almost 30 yourself, because 99, 09, yeah, okay. So, but I mean, it's like, do you ever sit there and kind of giggle every once in a while at, like, what your job entails sometimes?
Oh, I still do.
Do you?
Yeah, if I'm glad that I do, because if I didn't, it would just be, it wouldn't be any fun at all.
Yeah.
Wandered into the warehouse the other day when we were looking at something. For the life of me, I went, what the hell was somebody thinking? It just was so, it was a sample that was sent, and I'm looking at it and go, okay, this is the dumbest color. It was like a shiny, weird, peachy thing. And
what was it?
It was a sample dildo, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the hell did they do with the testicles here? It was just, and then I'm like, well, I like the suction cup part of it. And it just, so I'm picking it apart, and then, we took it out, and we're squeezing it. I'm like, well, it feels okay. Can I get past the color? I'm like, was it just me? Am I just the one that doesn't like this color? Because it had a nice suction cup. It was a nice size, but I wasn't thrilled with the color. But that, like I said, but that was just me. Everybody likes things different.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, well, this is going to fit in a harness well. This is going to stick to your bathroom shower well. There's a couple different things. I mean, certain things are nice,
So then do you poll the group?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I'll leave it to Tara, because you can only have so many people choosing things before folks go, insane. Mm-hmm. But I'll look at it. But we got in some really nice glow-in-the-dark ones the other day. And I'm running down the hallway, because we only have one, the old utility room is the only place where I can shut the door and have it be dark.
Okay.
So I'm running like, ooh, this does glow. And it was blue, and it glowed blue.
Cool.
A lot of times when you get glow-in-the-dark stuff, no matter what color it is, when you're looking at it, it just glows that more traditional green that you're used to seeing. And I'm like, how many other people run down the hallway and see what color the dildo glows?
Why wouldn't you?
And it just made me giggle.
That'd be the first thing I would do.
It made me giggle. And then, eons and eons ago, we got a sample in, and it was sort of like a sleeve. And there was like two sleeves. It was like a smooth one with a few ridges on it, and then there was one bumps on it. And then they painted the bumps red. And I'm looking at the box, I'm looking at the item, I'm going, this looks like a disease. Who the hell designed this? I looked at it, you're not getting this. She's like, no, let's just go. And we were just giggling. But I was confused the other day when we got in the lingerie department. I saw something. It's panties with marijuana sayings on them. I can't think of what they are. They're going out to stores now, and they come with pasties. And we have stick-on little marijuana leaf pasties and fun little things. And I'm looking at it, and I sent a note to Liz going, I don't want to I'm not saying get these. I'm just saying I'm fascinated that she goes, oh, actually, I've already ordered them. They came in. So, because I didn't know. We tend sometimes not to do well with something that is packaged, and you can't take this out of the package because it's got the pasties.
Okay.
But when we got it, it's actually a really nice panty.
Really?
And then the pasties, I'm like, oh, that's enough.
Okay, I gotta buy. I have somebody I need to buy those for.
Yeah.
Who would think that was so fun?
We got it in, and I'm like, okay, this is why I've got different people doing things, because not everything I like, who's going to sell or is going to go through there or catch his eye. But for the most part, we're all, pretty much on the same page.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a weird, totally random question, but I think, civilians like myself and our audience would love to know this. So obviously, as a retail chain, with the 8 stores that you have and the 2 in New Jersey, so it's 10 now, right, total?
Yep.
Okay, you guys get samples, like you just mentioned, right? And then you kind of evaluate, or the buyers do, or whatever. Well, what happens to the samples? What do you guys do with them?
Well, sometimes when people want gift baskets for when they're having I get probably 1 or 2 requests a week. I can't do anything. Yeah, an auction for a friend who's having cancer, or this person or stuff like that, charity or something like that. We'll put together a gift basket. They do a bingo down at the Gay 90s. If the items, we'll go to they'll do sample. We'll send out a basket of stuff for prizes there. sometimes if it's really good, we'll put it in a. So that's that's mainly where all that stuff goes. But a lot of times, once we've taken out and played with it, it's not something we could sell.
Right. So, do the employees ever take them home?
Yeah, occasionally some folks will grab some stuff here or there, or see how it's going. Like, how does that work? And folks will go, well, that was pretty good, or it's not. Yeah. But it's not nobody. It's not like we get a dozen things in, hand them to everyone, and then have like a big powwow about how it worked.
How it worked. Okay,
no.
I wondered about that.
No,
okay.
it's a little more subtle than that. I mean, it just. You got to work with everyone, and we know a lot about each other. Yeah. But you still got to have some privacy.
That's fair. That's fair. It's just such an unusual workplace. This cracks me up. We used to have Audible used to be an advertiser, and we love Audible. Great service. It's just wonderful, especially if you're for any imaginable reason. They now have a feature where you say skip to the good part, and it takes you right to the bodice ripping, fuck scenes, whatever in a book.
Why not?
How great is that? Skip to the good part.
Skip to the good part.
Do you love it?
Well, okay, obviously that's I suppose. I mean, would you say that for like Moby Dick? I mean, what's the good or is it just for the for the sex?
That so far it's just take me to the good part. And they're using the feature in different ways. Some want to listen to some of the experts beforehand. Some want to relive the favorite scenes. But this is really for the romance groups. They don't have this really figured out, but it's the romance package.
I love it.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's just perfect.
I mean, no more dog-eared pages.
No, I remember in 9th grade, we went to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
We flew out, but then we took a bus all the way around and stuff like that.
Cool.
And what was the Scruples?
Oh, God.
Scruples. That was the books that someone had. And if you just held it in your hand on its spine, it would pop open to the dirtiest parts on there.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I read that. God, I was at about the same age. I think I read it one summer, and I was like, oh, my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was hilarious. I think I picked up I think years later, I saw, like, in the room, like half-price books or something like that. I picked it up and said, I wonder what the actual story is about, because everyone was just reading the sex scenes.
Yep. Do you remember when they made it into a made-for-TV 3-part series, Scruples, and Phoebe Cates played the lead? Did you ever see it?
No, I gotta see that's on Netflix or something.
Oh, God, you can probably find it on Netflix, I bet. Check it out. Phoebe Cates, she retired, married Kevin. Kevin, Kevin. I can see him. Looking. Yes, Kevin Kline.
Kevin Kline.
Married Kevin Kline. She retired from acting. We haven't seen her except for On His Arm.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Kline. Speaking of Kevins, Kevin Spacey, he's really understandably getting the wrath for after he was accused of a sexual encounter with a 14-year-old, a.k.a. sexual assault. He comes out as gay. And everybody's calling bullshit, saying you did that to, overshadow the. Yeah,
that was some pretty. I looked at it and I saw that and I went, okay. And your point was here. You start off one thing, apologizing, and then you go into another thing, and I'm like, no, that's not how an apology works. If it is one, you know what I mean?
You know what? Yeah.
It was written, and so. It's, but I do find, like I said, I mentioned this a little bit last week, I do find it amazing that one person accuses him and immediately everybody believes the guy. And
the accuser?
Yeah, the accuser. Mm-hmm. Dozens and dozens of women, accuse other folks and no one, and it was like, well, they're all lying.
Right. That is a really good point.
Oh my God, that's fine, and I'm glad that we're at the point, honestly, this is gonna. How many guys in any particular part of power right now, in the Western world, haven't done something asinine? Some of them may not even realize they did it. because we've been socialized. I mean, if you think about all of the stuff that was regular during the Mad Men phase, there isn't a guy in his 70s or 80s that didn't sexual harass someone. I mean, I'm sure they're out there, you know what I mean? But I'm saying, but it was so normal, and so how do you get to the point where, I mean, that things still function?
Yeah.
So they all did it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all in a very broad sense.
Mm-hmm.
You're going through there. There isn't. I mean, put it this way: if every woman can say "me too," okay, a big chunk of guys out there
are guilty.
Yeah,
but
with not even even good guys not realizing what they did just because it was part of the times.
Yeah.
So
it is funny. I think of the men in my life, and I can tell you for a fact that I know I've seen some of them be inappropriate. Okay, but I do notice that there are personality types among that, and some of them I sincerely believe have not ever.
Yeah,
I really do.
Oh yeah.
But I think that the people who do, it's they were prolific. You know what I mean? Which is how I think it's been so widespread. I think it's a couple of categories, and they've done a great big bunch of damage out there because there's a few. It's an interesting, sad phenomenon. But this is not going away, and as well it shouldn't. And I'll be very curious to see if Harvey Weinstein ends up doing jail time because it looks like he might. Which yay! Just on a quick note. 84-year-old Jane Jessica. Are you familiar with her? Do you know who she is? She was famous for writing about late life sex. Okay, and her first book was called A Round-Heeled Woman. And she's had a couple of other books, Unaccompanied Women, and Mrs. Bennett Has Her Say. And she was reviewed in the Chicago Tribune, just so you can, as brilliant, hilarious, and addictively readable. And she basically was a divorced and lonely woman at age 66, and she watched a movie and got swept up in the story where about a married woman who placed personal ads in the newspaper, which, my God, now we go to Tinder, right? But anyway, and then she did it herself and got a bunch of responses and wrote about her wrongs. And her book was called A Round-Heeled Woman. So Jane Jessica passed away at the age of 84. But we will put the link to read about her.
I am unfamiliar with it. That's
Are you?
Cool.
Yeah.
No, it might be. Was it the movie The Personals or something that was filmed here in the Twin Cities? It involved roller skating and some personal ads, and there's some scenes it was done in.
I don't know.
I think so, but it reminded me because. I mean, do you remember the City Pages years ago with all the ads in the back of that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, they were hilarious.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But people did meet up that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but now, it's been digitized.
Yeah.
So, but she wrote, her book came out in 1999, so just as her second one was in 2006, and her last...
Because the boomers are getting older.
Yeah.
If she's 84, she's definitely a boomer.
Yeah.
And I went through a lot of stuff. I still want to have sex.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, part of her premise was, I'm 66, before I turn 67, I want to have a lot of sex with men. Good for you. I mean, I think that's an admirable pursuit. I really do.
I know, yeah. I do. Having a lot of sex, not a bad idea.
No, I think it's a hell of an idea. So just out of curiosity, we're through the Halloween rush. Christmas is around the corner.
Liz and Tara are out putting, this whole week and part of next week, they're out putting out the Christmas merchandise.
Okay.
But we don't really do, I mean, it's holiday, it's Christmas, there's red, there's some stuff, it's themed, but, and there's a few things that are novelties and stuff like that, but we found a long time ago that, it doesn't have to have, like, Christmas trees on it, or candy canes on it, it's just, or even at Valentine's with hearts all over it, because you want, if you buy something sexy, you might want to wear it, like, in, I don't know, August. And candy canes in August just are disconcerting, not sexy.
True.
So, but it's going on. And Liz has bought some beautiful things. Like you said, she got in those little, I can't think of the sayings, but some of the little marijuana panties with the matching pasties and some other things. And it's just, and Tara was at the show and she picked up little tiny wand vibrators and a few other things that those might go out closer to Christmas, but because I have 2 massive pallets out in the garage right now that are still in black shrink wrap.
Okay.
Of stuff coming out for Christmas, and that'll be going out. And like I said, we hopefully get this website up and going and running soon, and hope gals recovering quick on that. And it's just just plugging along.
Getting to the end of the year, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're in November, so
I'm mostly concerned that the stores have enough salt and sand and shovels, so gotta keep it clear.
Absolutely. Well, Great Northern Sexcast, a lot calmer version this week, but we will be back at you next week as we careen towards Thanksgiving.